स्वाध्यायः परमं तपः।
Namaskar, dear students. I Assistant Professor Dharmishta Patel, School of Computer Science, welcome you from Chaitanya Studio, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad. We are lecture series in Postgraduate Diploma in Cyber Law 102 Pgdcl, subject E-commerce, E-governance and E-contract. Today we will discuss Block 1 E-commerce in Unit 2 Historical Development and Regulatory Framework of E-commerce. Now let us see with today's agenda. Learning objectives. After going through this chapter, you should be able to understand historical development and concept of e-commerce and conceptual framework. Now we will start with introduction, then after discuss about history of e-commerce. Now introduction, we are discussed in last lecture about introduction, what is e-commerce and how does e-commerce works. Now e-commerce is a sharing business information and maintaining business relationships and conducting business transactions by means of telecommunication networks. Electronic commerce, a new means of carrying out business transactions through electronic means in general and through internet environment in particular, has been proving its potential benefits and effective contribution to the socio-economic growth. As an essential part of the digital economy, electronic commerce plays the role as the key for open our door into the 21st century, the new era of knowledge-based economy in the context of economic commerce framework of e-commerce. To be specific, e-commerce would be buying and selling of goods and services and transfer funds to digital communication. Today, e-commerce is a major economic force driving growth for developed as well as developing countries. The exponential growth of internet use and online purchases globally combined with the relatively low cost of internet marketing is enabling large companies as well as small and medium-sized enterprise SMA to expand their market overseas through e-commerce. As per the Economic Survey 2017 and 2018 US dollar 33 billion, 2018 to 19 US dollar 38.9 billion, 2019 to 20 US dollar 52.57 billion, and in 2021 US dollar 67 to 84 billion. As per the Economic Survey of India, in India's e-commerce market. Now today's we will discuss history of e-commerce. E-commerce originated in a standard for the exchange of business documents such as orders or invoice between suppliers and their business customers. Those origin date to 1948 to 49 Berlin blockade and airlift with a system of ordering goods primarily via telex. Electronic data interchange is widely viewed as the beginning of e-commerce. Today's e-commerce is a major economic force driving growth for developed as well as developing countries. The exponential growth of internet use and online purchases globally, combined with the relatively low cost of internet marketing, is enabling large company as well as small and medium sized enterprise to expand their market overseas through e-commerce. As per economic survey in India, e-commerce market uh, in India, US dollar in 33 billion in 2017-18 e-commerce market, and 2018 to 19 US dollar is e-commerce market in 38.9 billion, and 2019 to 20 US dollar 52.57 billion, and 2020 to 21 US dollar 67 to 84 billion. Now in future, e-commerce market is expected US dollar 350 billion by 2030, and to India's e-commerce market is expected to reach US dollar 200 billion by 2026. We have revised that introduction of e-commerce discussed in last lecture. Now let us see with the history of development and concept of e-commerce. E-commerce is originated in a standard for the exchange of business documents such as a order or invoice between suppliers and their business customers. Those originated date to 1948 to 49 Berlin blockade and airlift with a system of ordering goods primarily via telex. Then after, EDI is a widely viewed as the beginning of e-commerce. The resulting computer to computer electronic data interchange is a standard flexible enough to handle most simple electronic business transaction. With the wide adoption of the internet and the introduction of the World Wide Web in 1991 and of the first browser for accessing it in 1993, most e-commerce shifted to internet. EDI is originated in a mid-1960s paperless office. The ability to use this technology appeared in the late 1970s and allowed business companies and organizations to send commercial documentation electronically. In the mid-1970s, EDI was formalized by accredited committee by industry representative. 1970 and 1980 companies began to adopt EDI. Now the development of World Wide Web during the early 90s dramatically changed the use of internet. The expansion of the web and along with the web browser opened the internet anyone basic computer experience and online connection. As online activity is increased, companies quickly saw the internet's market potential. Subsequently, there was a rush to take products and services into the expanding electronic realm and redefine business itself. E-commerce consists of business to consumer and business to business commerce, as well as internal organizational transactions that support those activities. More recently, with the global spread of smartphone and the accessibility of fast broadband connection to the internet, much e-commerce moved to mobile device, which also included tablet, laptops and wearable products such as watches. Today, the number of internet users is world in 3 billion in world. This penetration of internet coupled with the increasing confidence of the internet user to purchase online has led to enormous growth in e-commerce space, with the increasing number of customers registering on e-commerce website and purchasing products through the use of mobile phones. It is not surprising therefore that India in a prime position for the growth and development of the e-commerce sector. In particular, e-commerce present one of the greatest opportunities in the retail sector since it provides a dramatic change from brick and mortar established to virtual shop which could operate for a fraction of the cost. E-commerce has a deeply affected every day in life. How business and governments operate commerce is conducted electronic marketplaces and supply chain working on the internet web. Consumer oriented marketplaces including large emails such as Amazon, consumer to consumer auction platform eBay for example, multi-channel retailer and many millions of e-retailers, massive business to business marketplaces has been created by Alibaba and other companies. Social network sites such as Facebook, individual relationship and are sites of so-called as a social commerce. The web is also interactive medium of human communication that supplement and often replaces traditional media. The hypermedia nature of the web with the interlinking of multimedia content available on globally distributed sites enables creation of new types of media products often offered free of charge. Those new media include blogs, video aggregators such as YouTube, social media and customized electronic newspaper. As with the all media, this aspect of web its use in marketing. Web advertising ranges from display ads on website, keyboards as on information seeker we using search engines such as Google. Now first generation of e-commerce EDI allowed companies to exchange information, place orders and conduct electronic funds transfer through computers. Second generation of e-commerce, it is characterized by the transaction of goods and services through the internet. In 1960s, inception of internet, ARPANET is a precedence to the internet was established. 1986, NSF-NET is providing high-speed communication links between major supercomputers across the United States. By the end of the 1980s, the internet had still used for non-commercial purpose and all of the it networks free of use of net and backbone directly or indirectly. GUI and development of GUI and WW 1990 creation of HTML with URL specification. In 1991, NSF-NET decided to remove commercial restriction on the use of the networks. Now, first internet companies to allow electronic transaction, Amazon and eBay. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development defines the electronic commerce as a new way of conducting business, qualifying it as business occurring over networks which use non-proprietary protocols that are establishing through the open standard setting process such as internet. This is definition distinguishes it from early EDI type proprietary based network or internet not based on the open and therefore no cost effective information infrastructure like the internet. E-commerce related to company launches, some 1969 the first major US e-commerce company ComServe is founded. 1979 electronic shopping is invented. 1982 Boston Computer Exchange launches one of the first e-commerce platforms. 1990 the first web browser, World Wide Web launches. 1995 Amazon and eBay launch. 1997 Netflix launches subscription video on demand service. 1998 PayPal launches online payment system for. And 2012 Instacart launches for online food ordering system. 2014 Apple Pay launches for mobile app Paytm system. 2015 P interest adds buyable pins. And 2017 Amazon acquires Whole Foods. 2018 Walmart acquires Flipkart. We will discuss conceptual framework of e-commerce. Kalakota and Wintons in 1997 defined the term e-commerce from different perspectives. These perspectives are communication, business process, services, and online. E-commerce conceptual framework is related to software frameworks for e-commerce application. Now, communication. According this purpose, e-commerce is the delivery of information, products, services, or payments or over telecommunication channels, computer networks, or any electronic mode of communication. Business process. According this perspective, e-commerce is a application of the technology towards the automation of business transaction and workflow. And service perspective. According this perspective, e-commerce is defined as tool that addresses the desire firms, consumers, and management to cut services cost while improving the quality of goods services and increasing the speed of service delivery. And online. According this perspective, e-commerce provides the capability of buying and selling products and information on the internet and other online services. For example, business process like manufacturing and inventory. And service perspective, example like the products may be physical like cars, computers, books, or services like news or consulting. E-commerce is the new profitable way to conduct business, which goes beyond the simple movement of information and expands electronic transaction from point of sale requirements, determination, and production scheduling right through to invoicing, payment, and receipt. E-commerce uses key standards and technology, including electronic data interchange, technical data interchange, hypertext markup language, HTML, extensible markup language, XML, and standard for exchange of product model data. E-commerce is made possible through the expanded technologies of the internet and the World Wide Web and value-added networks. Now we will have discussed World Trade Organization on e-commerce. In the WTO work program on electronic commerce, it is understood the production, distribution, marketing, sale, or delivery of goods and services by electronic means. A commercial transaction can be divided into three main stages: the advertising and searching stage, the ordering and payment stage, and the delivery stage. Any or all of these may be carried out of electronically and may therefore be covered by the concept of electronic commerce. The World Trade Organization WTO distinguishes six main instruments of the electronic commerce: the telephone, the fax, television, electronic payment and the money transfer system, electronic data interchange, and the internet. Through the internet, the telephone, fax, TV, and EDI have been the existence for some time. When people talk of e-commerce, they usually refer to internet business wherein goods and services are traded on net. In this chapter, we will have studied the historical development and conceptual framework of e-commerce. I hope you are understand this topic, and we will continue this chapter in next session. Thank you.
स्वाध्यायः परमं तप